Hey guys, I'm back. Really funny because I bought all this equipment hoping that I would do a podcast, and then I drafted episodes and did a bunch of research, and I just never started it. So please excuse me, I'm sick, hence why I'm doing this format instead of actually vlogging. I'm gonna have to stop to drink a lot of water, and my voice might sound a little gravelly, raspy right now, so just ignore that. But why am I sitting down right now instead of vlogging is I've had a hard couple of weeks. The last vlog that you guys saw from me, I just got back from San Diego. But I also was transparent and I lost my job. Hey guys, I'm unemployed. And all I can really say about that is don't work with family or people who are close enough to be considered family, but things get messy. And yeah, that's all I can really say about that. I would like to say I'm not too worried about it. And I think that was true the first couple of days just because I hated that job so bad. Anyways, it felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. The environment was just awful all around. And maybe someday I'll talk about that. But my ex-boss is quite a powerful man. So I'm not really trying to get into that. But anyways, yeah, I was like, I don't know, I was kind of happy about it, low key. But now, obviously, it's hit the 2 week mark, and I feel like I just haven't really actually been in the job market for, almost 2 years now. And so obviously I'm aware that where our economy is. I'm aware we're pretty much in a recession. The job market is awful, but I guess being aware of it and understanding that is different from experiencing that, obviously. And so the stress kind of just definitely started to stack. And it's hard to remind myself every day that what God has for me will come, and that obviously I need to put the work in. I've been applying. My Indeed application number is through the roof right now, actually. But I just know that if it's not for me, and if I get rejected by it, rejection is protection. And I do truly believe that because it has happened in my life multiple times. And so I'm trying to remember right now that God has my back. Everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to. But saying that, knowing that in your head, but then really believing that in your heart and acting that out can be really difficult sometimes. And that's why I wanted to sit down, because I was have been feeling really positive despite working a job that I would consider horrible. A lot of other really good things have been happening in my life. And so I know that when things feel like they're crumbling, the new beginning that comes from it is usually 10 times better than whatever I was holding on to. And that's just kind of how life works. I mean, there has to be death for new life. Regeneration is a constant in humanity and in this world. And so it's something that's uncomfortable, but I trust the process, or I try to at least. And yeah, it's just been making it hard to enjoy other happy things that are going on, which really sucks. And I feel like capitalism does that a lot. I feel like if you allow it to, it'll really suck the joy out of you. We all have to pay our bills. We all have to work. We all have to eat. We all have to have a roof over our heads and all these things. And so I'm blessed that I still have that, and that I have people who will support me, and that I don't think would allow me to be in the position without these things. And would help me get back up on my feet if I really needed. And so I'm really blessed for that. Just, it's hard to stay positive sometimes. You really have to retrain your brain to do that. And I was a very pessimistic person for a very long time. And that prohibited me, or I would prohibit myself. That mindset would stop me from trying new things because I just didn't believe I could accomplish them or I could finish them. And so I'm testing for real estate next week, which is a pretty big accomplishment for me, even just getting to the test and finishing the schooling. I finished my AA last year, and I had started that in high school through Running Start, and I didn't finish it. So I was I have not really used my degree that much, but at least I finished it. I'm very happy that I chose to do it, and it's given me a lot of experience and life lessons going through that process. And so real estate is something where you are your own business. That's your own business. You're freelancing essentially, and it takes a lot of work. You're not going to just, maybe you are, but most of the time you're not really just going to jump in and start selling multi-million-dollar homes and like 6 in 1 month and getting 9-figure salary. You know, that's like not something that's likely. And I knew that going into this, and I think usually that would discourage me because I have such like an issue with instant gratification, and that's like by design. I mean, all of us, especially in America, fast-paced capitalism, it's like that's kind of how they get us. And I've been making it a point for myself to not allow myself to fall into that mindset and not to be a victim of my environment. I would like to make different choices every day for myself, and it's hard. It's very hard, especially the way that I grew up was in a very I quit type of environment. I quit. Things were too hard. I would quit. I quit probably like a million sports, a million different academic endeavors as I got older. There were so many things that I would try and I would quit. And like my dad would try and keep me in the sports and he would try and keep me going with it. But I had other adults in my life that were showcased that themselves. They didn't believe in themselves, and they kind of projected that onto me as a kid, like, well, you're not going to get anywhere either, because I didn't. And so I really believed that, and I took that ideology on at a really young age, I think, and I like stunted myself before I even gave myself a chance. And then I also thought about it, and I'm like, well, I had people on the other end trying to help me with that mindset, but they were pushing me to do things that I didn't like or I didn't care about. The things that I genuinely had a passion for, like dancing, music, stuff like that, it was always, well, you're not going to make a job out of that. That's not realistic. So I was steered towards something else that was more quote unquote realistic, and I never had passion for it, and that's why I always wanted to quit. So I'm just trying to choose things that I care about. I may not always be 100% passionate. Obviously, you know, if we got to work a 9 to 5, you got to work a 9 to 5 to make those bills until you don't have to do that anymore and to support your entrepreneurship. I understand that, but I try to do things more carefully now, more intentionally. And so even though, you know, I don't think I'm the most passionate salesperson, I don't think I'm the most passionate about selling a home, I think I am very passionate about the idea of becoming my own boss and really testing my abilities and seeing how far I can go with something if I truly put my mind to it. I'm very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about DJing. I'm very passionate about content. And so all of that huge summary to come to this point is to say that I'm making this video right now because I want to stay consistent with my content. And a way for me to do that realistically is to be honest and real. And I know, like, I sound like these YouTubers that I watch with like millions of subscribers that have big followings, and I'm like, I know that as of right now I don't really have a following, but like it's more for myself. Even if nobody watches it, that's okay. It's just about the consistency and proving to myself I can be consistent with something, and like the follow through of promising myself that I believe in myself and then my actions reflecting that, because that's what really means something. I mean, even in relationships, right, with other people, we're constantly checking if the actions line up with what they say. And if it doesn't, it's like, okay, well, I have a hard time believing you. And we subconsciously do that to our own selves as well. And so, you know, if I follow through on my promises with other people, I've realized in the last 2 years that that's something I should do for myself, and that I've been really leaving myself behind a lot. And so that's been my focus a lot lately. Excuse me. And so that's the point of this video, is I'm just coming on here and I'm being honest about what my last week has been like. I mean, there were things that I could have vlogged. I mean, we did like Cinco de Mayo last week with my boyfriend, and that was super dope. That was fun. I do have a YouTube mix of me and my little set that he let me take over for 30 minutes. And it's honestly one of my favorite sets that I have filmed. So go check that out. And I've been trying to go to the gym and stuff like that. I'm sure I've done a couple of other things I just really can't remember. But that's because I've been fighting these old habits of just laying in bed and giving up. And like that's pretty much what I've been doing the last week, is fighting that and making sure that I give myself rest and I still listen to my body. I mean, I'm sick. I have like very physical reactions, my emotional and mental well-being. Maybe I was around someone that was sick, or maybe I made myself sick. I don't know which one. But it's just been like a reminder to me, like, hey, slow down. Even though you don't have a job doesn't mean that you need to like go extra hard trying to run yourself ragged just because like you're not worthy of rest, which is another bullshit lie that capitalism tries to feed us. And so I have been making sure I study at least an hour a day for real estate because that's really important to me, and I don't want to throw that out the window and not end up not passing my test because I didn't prepare properly because I was in a funk. You know what I mean? So I have been making sure I get up and do that every day and just keeping tidy around the house and stuff like that. But yeah, to be completely honest, this is what my last week has looked like, is getting out of bed, coming in here to study, cleaning, going to the gym, coming home, job applications, trying not to spiral, and trying to do what is in my control while also not like trying to do too much. And that's literally what my last week has looked like. So, but I do have a lot of good things happening, and I mean, I might be moving into a new apartment, which is kind of like good, kind of bad. It's good because the new apartment would be dope. It's a dope spot. I think that it looks really nice. But just like the stress of having to do that, and I don't even have like a guaranteed income right now, is scary, stressful. But I do think, you know, I'm gonna get a job again. So I think if I did end up moving, that would be super dope. Like the new place, feeling settled into it, I think it would be a happy thing. At the end of the day, it's just the process of doing that right now seems really scary. So that's like bittersweet, but like a happy thing. I have a booking in Texas that's already been like paid for. Like I already bought the tickets and split the Airbnb, and I'm going with 2 friends and my boyfriend, and I'm like super excited for that, and it's all mostly been paid for, so I don't have to really like stress about that. And so that's really exciting. I've just gotten some exciting interpersonal, like interrelationship news and stuff like that with friends and family, so that's like all super fun and awesome. And I just kind of have been struggling with making sure I still appreciate the beauty and the positivity and the wins of that, because of like, I guess, the sour note that being unemployed has left. Because I don't know if I don't know if anyone else can relate, because I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, living in America and the culture that we have curated here of being so work oriented, to the fact that it just like eats at our whole lives. I feel like when you lose a job, it's not just like the job insecurity of how am I going to pay my bills? Like, I don't want to be homeless. I need to eat. I need to have a place to live. All those things that I've mentioned, but also like the sense of worth that comes with that. I mean, literally we ask kids since they like can speak, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, it's just very career oriented, career centered here, work centered. And so I think it's also just like, oh my God, I'm not contributing as a human being to society. I'm not contributing the way to my household that I normally would like to be, the kind of partner that I want to be, like the kind of individual and friend I want to be, like successful. Like I view myself as a very hardworking person. I don't need to be a burden. Like I don't want to be a burden ever. And I mean, nobody's paying for my lifestyle or anything like that. I have savings, luckily, but so it's not like I'm literally being a burden to anyone, but I think it's even just like the perception of it, of like being perceived as lazy. I don't like that. And I'm like struggling with it because I know that that's not true and that's bullshit. And I would never make someone else feel that way. So it's like, why am I projecting that image of myself onto me? That's not fair to myself. And so that's kind of just what I've been mentally struggling with, is like the perception, but also the self-awareness of the perception. I don't know. And then I also have an event this Sunday. I've been trying to do monthly parties with Pretty Hustle Cafe. The owner, D-Money, is super dope. He's helped me so much on the business side of things and like showing me things that I never quite knew about or understood before. And that's another thing I'm going to be completely transparent about. Last time I sold a good 15 to 20 tickets, I think, which is, it's an intimate space. And then like there could have been more people, obviously, but I was really proud of that. I was happy with that. We ended up making money. Like everything was cool. And my views were like 800. And so the goal this time was to get my views up, and that would hopefully obviously translate to more ticket sales. But my views are at like 1,600 right now, and I have like 1 ticket sale, I think. Shout out to you, Toxic. And I don't blame anyone for that either. Like, everyone's doing their part. The business owners are obviously doing their part. I'm trying to do mine by having a posting schedule, paying for ads, things like that. D-Money is going over and beyond what he really needs to be doing. Honestly, he's amazing. And also, like, the community is doing what they need to be doing too. It's like, I truly do believe if it's something that interests people, then they will show up. If they want to be out, then they'll be out. It's a chill, max relax type of vibe, and I think that people that are down for that are going to want to come, you know what I mean? I feel like, also, I'm aware the economy sucks right now, and so I'm never the kind of person to be like, what, tickets are only $10, $15, $20, how come you can't come, that's so cheap, blah blah blah. I've never been like that. I'm never gonna be like that. I totally understand if someone looks at it and is like, that would be dope, but it's out of my, I can't spend that right now. Like, my paycheck isn't until the week after. Like, I have to fucking get gas. So I totally understand that. And it's like, I don't know, it's just, how can I be going through what I'm going through right now behind the scenes, but then not have assumed empathy for the community that I'm trying to bring together? It's kind of like my thought process behind it. And then obviously I'm so thankful for the friends and people that show up for me, and that also I just see out in public. Like, I went to Jazz Bones Viberoki, and just like seeing people there that I genuinely love and care about, and just everyone was so sweet, and it reminds me so much how much I love Tacoma. There's so many amazing people here that I've met, and so when people don't show up, it's not like I feel like there's just no one, you know what I mean? It's just like life circumstances happen. Sometimes there's other events going on the same day. You know, people can't be everywhere at once. And so I'm just trying to use it as motivation to keep going and to just come harder with the edits, with the content, with the spinning, with the mixing, like all of that, because I am very passionate about DJing, and I would love for that to be a full-time job so I didn't have to have a 9 to 5. Maybe didn't even have to try and sell houses. Just, that's like my number one thing that I'm truly genuinely passionate about. And I do like the editing and the content making. It's fun. And so that's why I didn't want to just not do anything this week. I wanted to sit down and still film something, especially for my YouTube channel, because fun fact, I've been wanting to do YouTube since I was literally like 10 years old. I used to watch makeup tutorials for hours on end, story times. I still watch story times, just anything and everything under the sun, honestly. And so I wanted to do it so bad. I was like gonna do a makeup channel and all of that. And so I love to see how my life has, like, the journey that I've gone on my life and where it's taken me. And I guess 12-year-old me never thought that 24-year-old me would be sitting here doing vlogs and DJing. It's like, I always knew I wanted to be in front of a camera somehow or some way, but I just never thought of it like this. And I think it's so cool how life works, and like how I'm still living out my dream in just a completely different way than I ever thought I could. And that's so cool. I mean, I guess I'm not trying to have a whole dissertation, even though I have no idea how long I've been talking. It might literally already be 20 minutes. But I guess that's like all I really have to say, is that I'm just coming on here behind the scenes type of vibe of my life. That's what's going on right now. And I see the people that consistently support me, not just on socials, but in real life. And I appreciate you guys like a lot. And I feel like there's actually way more names than I even have time to say, which I think is super fucking dope. And I just want to always try and spread positivity and love in this community, because this community deserves it so much. Just so many amazing people, amazing talent, amazing minds. And I just really would feel blessed if I could be a part of putting Tacoma on the map on a worldwide scale, because we're fucking dope. There's a lot of dope people here. So thank you for letting me be a part of the community, inviting me in to these music and entertainment spaces, to these businesses, connections, friendships, all these things I'm so thankful for. But yeah, that's just a little update. Bye.